want to make the decision to move forward and get involved in the process of wearing out tennis shoes and, you know, out there knocking on doors and going to meet our residents of Atherton is a very positive way to get that message across and to get your message across and to get you more involved with this town. Some of you may not have a lot of involvement with other sides of the town or other neighborhoods of the town, and that's how they make decisions. So, you know, I would just sit here and try to urge my other council members to maybe just change your vote to my vote and say, why don't we call the election? Let's get it done for the people of Atherton and let it begin.
Any council?
I'm happy with it.
You're happy with calling
Well,
an
we've got
election?
an election, yeah.
Shall, okay.
Well, can I ask a question of the
Sure.
candidates,
Yeah.
if I could, if Michael?
Can I just make one more comment?
Sure.
I would just like to clarify, first of all, I would encourage you to appoint somebody tonight, based on my understanding that if any of the candidates ran an election, they're only running for a one-year time period. Is that correct?
It's a year and a half.
Yeah, and a
A
half.
year and a half. But
Well,
December, it's 1 year.
So
It's 1
one,
year.
yeah, 1 year, and I think you have 7 excellent candidates to choose from. I think your residents will support you because you're the leaders of Atherton. I think you've already aimed at one person that's probably a perfect candidate and a solution to your problem. So I would recommend that you appoint tonight and solve it for Atherton. Thank you.
Can we ask the candidates one or two questions?
Mr. Polito?
I've got to echo what was just stated. I think to have an election to fill a 12-month term is very wasteful of everybody's time and effort. And I think your job is to make hard decisions. It's time to make one. We've got a lot of things happening in the next year. We can't, in the next few months, we can't sit around on our hands and say that the whole community has to make this decision. You were elected to make those kind of decisions.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make one final comment. Why did we go through this exercise if you were going to abstain, Mr. Weeks? I think you should, and I agree with these other people, you should exercise your authority as a council member and select somebody right now.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I concur completely. I mean, what are we doing here? We want to, we have so many questions of, and we need another person on the council. We already have a candidate that has 2 votes. We should try it again and see what happens, but I definitely think for the town of Atherton, we should appoint somebody to fill in Jerry's term.
Let's call for another vote.
Can I ask a question?
Oh,
Sure.
sorry, yes.
Please, Bill.
yes.
Sure. So I have essentially two questions. Number one, Michael was kind enough to say his intentions of you know, he would fill this as a part-time position, but he has no position, you know, then he would leave the seat to have it open. Is that the intention of anyone else? And second question is everybody here going to stand for election if in fact that's where we end up? So there are 2 questions. So first off, I guess when you just raise your hand, we don't need to have a conversation, but who is planning on rerunning regardless?
We only have 2 candidates
Well,
that we're going to vote on.
Okay, but I was kind of curious.
Yeah, I think that's a
Okay,
moot
all right.
point because
Apparently
there's
you're asking me something.
Well, good, that's why I didn't know I was only asking 2, so Rick and John then, are you planning on rerunning?
You mean in November?
If you were appointed now, are you going to rerun?
In 14,
Yes.
96% no.
Okay. Rick?
Well, I'd have to see what the experience is like. It's kind of a nice opportunity to be in there for a year, plus to be able to see it and make that assessment. But my intention, if I have anywhere close to the experience I've had on the Civic Center advisory committees, I would run.
Okay, fine.
So, Madam Mayor,
Yes.
so now we're just going to vote on the 2 candidates.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, we'll take balance again.
You got your hand up. Ballot there. Carried.
Carrie Reese, Rick DeGoya. Widmer, John Ruggiero. Councilmember Dobby, John Ruggiero. Mayor Lewis, Rick DeGoya.
That's a tie, so there's, we can vote again if the council wants, but at this point, it's a tie, and so there is no candidate that has been chosen. And you want to vote again?
I don't see any point in voting again.
Fine. Do you want to vote again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is just round two.
This will be round 3.
Well, we've just completed round 2.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we're gonna vote one more time.
Still, we can only vote for the 2 candidates. Okay.
Round 3.
Just tell us if there's a difference.
Vice Mayor Weiss, DeGoya. Mayor Lewis, Rick DeGoya. Councilmember Widmer, John Ruggiero. Councilmember Dobby, John Ruggiero.
Okay.
How about if we have a fourth one and we only vote for people who we didn't get on the last 2 ballots? Maybe we want to change our mind and go with someone else.
So I'm sorry that this process did not work. It's clearly a split council, and unfortunately, we could not come to consensus. I think loyalties run deep. So we will close our item number 1 and thank all of you. We've got another item on the agenda which will take us into approving the resolution to put a special election on the ballot in November. And I hope to see you guys file for candidacy between the filing period of July 15th through August 9th and run for council in November. Thank you very much. Yes, City Clerk? We're going to open up City Manager, would you read the staff report for item number 2?
Thank you, Mayor. This item was added to the agenda in the event that council was unable to reach a consensus to appoint a candidate to fill the rest of Mr. Carlson's term. The report outlines the standard operating procedures for calling an election and consolidating it with the county. This particular resolution needs to be approved and filed with the county clerk no later than Monday, July 15th, in order to consolidate with the November 5th election.
Thank you very much. So, does any member of the council have any questions about this resolution? Any comments? Any members of the public? Yes, yes.
I would like to say that the almanac already anticipated this situation because in today's almanac, they're saying there will be a special election in November to appoint a new city council. I thought that was kind of interesting. Ben? That was in the almanac. That was in the almanac, too. I didn't see it.
We're getting a negatory from the journalist.
She didn't write it.
Negatory, she's going.
She didn't write it.
No. Maybe it was a blog.
It was an ad. If anybody has an almanac,
Okay, moving on. So, any public discussion about item number 2, calling for a special election? Seeing no public discussion, we'll bring it back to council. So can I call for a motion to the adoption of the resolution calling the special municipal election request consolidation with the November 5th, 2013 election and contract with Chief Elections Office for election services.
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So, city clerk and city manager, let's go with it. Any other public discussion? Open it up for public one more time. Otherwise, this meeting is adjourned.